Hey everyone, we just sat through HorrorCon, the movie.
I swear to God, if the next whatever horror convention you go to doesn't have at least 5 guys wearing that outfit, I will be...
What cosplays Rob Zombie giving us today? It was very crowded in there.
That was the most packed of a movie I've been to here in a little bit.
For me, since, probably Batman the Killing Joke. Probably.
For me, I think Batman v Superman was the last one I went to that actually had, that amount of people at it.
Mm-hmm. So you went into this movie cold. You didn't know what this movie was about.
I didn't even know that they were doing a screening of it, or that it was filmed and a film that could be screened until 2 days ago.
And I was like, hey man, they're doing a Fathom thing of Rob Zombie's new movie. It's called 31. That could mean anything.
And I thought, okay.
Let's do this.
And so, since I already knew nothing about it 2 days prior, I just figured I'm just going to go into this completely cold, because it's not often in this day and age that you can go into a movie and have absolutely zero fucking idea what it's about.
Yeah, and I IMDb'd it yesterday to look at what the plot line was, and I didn't tell you because I was like, well, if he wants to know, he'll ask me.
But yeah, I just figured, all right, yeah, I've managed to go apparently the entire inception, creation, and completion period of this movie without ever having heard of it or know what the fuck it was about. So I'm like, let's 2 more days.
Yeah.
I will find out cold going into this, so everything was completely fresh. It wasn't like I didn't go home and watch 2 or 3 trailers. Oh, okay.
I didn't see a trailer for it.
I saw because a lot of movies we go to see, we see so many different cuts of trailers.
Yeah.
And trailers anymore, they seem less designed to intrigue you with the idea of a film and more designed to, how can we tell the entire movie in 2.5 minutes? So, yeah, just stone cold going into this. Not a fucking clue.
Well, I also texted you too. I was like, just to give you a heads up, it's a Fathom event, so there's not going to be any trailers in front of it. So it'll probably start right at 7 o'clock. It's kind of a crapshoot on Fathom events. Sometimes the movie just starts right up, like the other day with Yoga Hosers. And then maybe sometimes Ben Lyons will come on and say something stupid. This one had a couple of Rob Zombie music videos in front of it to get you in the mood.
Yeah, because I got here right at 7. Because apparently that's early for me. No, I caught some shit traffic on the way over here. I thought that going down Wabash would be the fastest way, and it wasn't. It never is.
That's never the fastest way.
Yeah, no. Well, I was doing pretty good until I got caught behind somebody who thought that 30 was fine.
I hit Lawrence.
I was going to, and traffic
coming from your end, hitting Jefferson would be the quickest.
There was Amtrak parked there. Yeah, my initial thought was I'm gonna go that way. No, okay, I'll go down and take the interstate. It's they're still working on that bypass road, so that comes behind everything here. So I'm that's not actually gonna be any quicker at all.
Now you know that this movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets The Running Man.
This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 meets The Running Man. Think about it.
Yeah. The only it's got the van full of pot smokers Texas Chainsaw Massacre going through, I assume, somewhere in the South.
Yeah, they never really said where they were, but it looks like it was taking place 5 feet away from like the Devil's Rejects.
The events of the Devil's Rejects are going on like not even a mile away from this film.
It's a very crowded county where fuck all can happen.
I've got some problems with this movie.
No. Shut the fuck up.
Did you like it? It's better than Lords of Salem. There's actually some nice things I can say about this movie. And there's a lot of crap I can say about it too.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing I could watch this movie probably at any point with the sound off and think nothing of it. Like if it was just like on in the background while I was doing something, but having to actually sit down and watch it again, I don't know that I'm ever going to do that.
You could watch this movie with the sound off and still know exactly what's going on in this movie.
Oh yeah, well
and plus, what is the dialogue gonna add anyway? Just a lot of like, fuck, you mother cocksucker, fucker, fuck you, fucking shit, man, goddamn,
gonna fucking cut off your goddamn head, fucking stick my dick in your eye holes, in your fucking mouth holes, in your fucking ear holes. I'm gonna come up in your fucking mouth and like scoop it out and like shove it in your ass, like wow.
You smell this, man. Smell this on my finger, cause I have my dick so deep in a whore's ass before 5 minutes ago.
What's funny is that his music is much better written than this movie.
That's well, his music's not for me. Like, I'm not a good judge on his music.
But this movie felt like it was like he wrote an outline and then handed it to like a 12-year-old. Is like, go nuts, man. Just really fucking go for it. And he's like, fuck shit, fuck, whores, pussy. I added my notes. And basically just end everything with fuck or pussy.
Yeah, all the villains might as well be okay. Before I talk about that, the setup of this movie is actually for the first 5 minutes of this movie, I was kind of with it because it's got this monologue at the beginning of the film that works.
People are already in the act of memorizing.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
This would be great for my audition reel.
I like that. I liked this scene because I liked this villain, Doomhead, when he's talking about all this shit. This is the kind of villain and all the shit that he's saying and the look in his eyes, and he's talking to Daniel Roebuck, who's just beaten to shit. And Daniel Roebuck tries pleading with him, which, this is, man, if there was ever a fucking villain I've seen in a horror movie where that's not gonna work, it's this fucking guy. I mean, I'll talk more about him in a second, but I mean,
people literally have had more success talking down Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, there is no
that is a thing that has happened on multiple occasions with Jason Voorhees.
Exactly.
I don't think that'll work with this guy.
There is no Jason's mom's sweater with this guy. Like there's not, and so it cuts from this honestly pretty decent opening. I mean,
yeah, as far as like a unique cold open for a horror film.
Yeah,
that's not just. I mean, yeah, it's like it's an open like first kill, like oh my god, and then the movie starts, but it does it in a very different way. Like it's almost like an entire like in a majority of it is one single shot.
Yeah, it is. Eventually it cuts like after a little bit.
Yeah, it starts like getting away from that. But yeah, it's like a fucking like solid like he's got at least like a page and a half of dialogue before it actually makes a cut. And that guy, he does. I didn't recognize him from anything.
Oh, dude, I IMDb'd him because like here's one reason why that opening scene works. After I've seen the entire film, he is hands down the best part of this movie.
Oh yeah,
like by far, he is honestly one of the only few reasons that I didn't really outright dislike this movie. It's not that I liked it really all that much, but
he is this movie's like secret weapon because it
Yeah.
opens on him, so you know he's in the movie. It's a solid fucking opening, and then you just sit there for the rest of the movie thinking, oh, eventually he's gonna come back.
And he does. He comes back probably in the last half hour of this movie, and when he comes back, the movie does get pretty good. Like, could easily recommend this movie as a rental based solely on this guy. Because he honestly should have been in more of the movie.
Yeah.
Watching him and his monologuing and with the cigar and everything, I'm looking at it, and he's wearing like this white makeup on his face, and he bloodies up his nose to have some drool coming down. I'm looking at him like, why wasn't this our Joker in Suicide Squad? Holy shit. And the funny thing about that is I IMDb'd him. He was Joe Chill in Batman Begins.
Fucking comes around, man. Fucking comes around, man.
There was a few things on his filmography that I had seen but couldn't quite place him, but we all know who Joe Chill is. Yeah, he was fucking Joe Chill. He seems like he would be kind of maybe related to like Mac's dad from It's Always Sunny.
Like they're pen pals, like.
This guy seems like maybe he was part of, which Mac's dad was, part of like the Penguins gang from like Batman Returns, and then when the Penguin died, like this guy fucking took over.
It's like, I don't know what to do. I guess I don't know, go on a tour of the Southwest.
Yeah.
See what's out there.
And the movie's got a good opening credit sequence, because a good song is playing during it. That's kind of why.
But yeah, no, it's got an interesting title sequence.
Yeah, this whole movie is very Rob Zombie. The good parts of it and the bad parts of it are all very Rob Zombie.
No matter if you love it or hate it, his signature is on every frame.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you have like this black and white open, cut to the title sequence, and it's like 8mm like home footage, like
of the main characters just joshing around.
Here's some good joshing, bro.
There's some good joshing in those opening credits.
Yeah, I think they set up it's like 1976 or
76. It takes place on Halloween 1976. I guess this is Rob Zombie's Halloween 3. It doesn't have anything to do with his other Halloween movies. Although Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is a far superior film to this. Love that fucking movie.
Although it's interesting because it takes place on Halloween. And I'm assuming that's why the game is called 31.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like late at night when it starts, and it's a 12-hour thing. So most of that game actually takes place on November 1st.
Well, it starts out during the day.
Well, yeah, it starts out during the day, but
and then at night they get kidnapped, the main characters. So yeah, I mean, it just
because it's like high noon there towards the end. So whenever like she gets out,
oh,
like,
you mean that? Yeah,
yeah. So, and there was only like three. This is wildly skipping ahead, but I'm trying to do the math in my head. Like, it's like it was like 3 hours left when she made a break for it, and then it's daylight, and then maybe a little bit later, like the siren goes off.
When the purge ends.
Yes, when the purge is over. So, yeah, a majority of this movie, like even if that was like 8 a.m., that means that 8 hours of it is on the 1st.
Well, I guess the movie could get away with it in the sense it's not called Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, it probably takes place more so on actual Halloween than Halloween 2 did. The original Halloween 2.
Halloween 2, which could have just easily been called The Day After Halloween.
I've seen that movie. That has nothing to do with Halloween. So the movie did start losing me after the opening credits. when we're introduced to like our 6 or 7 main characters.
Basically, once the characters started talking.
Yeah, because again, it's just a lot of insulting each other, saying gross things, everyone just kind of getting on each other's nerves, and there's never any point in this setup where these characters are ever humanized.
No, yeah.
At all.
And I mean, I know you don't always have to have a moment like that in a movie, but like none of these characters have like a save the cat moment, like where you're
Not before they get kidnapped.
where yeah, you're supposed to realize that they're good people. Like no, they're openly talking about the fact that like they're hustlers. They're basically like they work as like carnies or something.
Yeah.
Although they're not traveling with anyone. And they're always talking about like how they have like these different like hustles and like scams and everything.
It just shows them driving around and smoking pot and like just saying Rob Zombie dialogue.
That whole like, the whole like first little bit there where it's like Sherry Moon Zombie, I don't know if he actually is from like the Caribbean or not.
Yeah.
Guy, and
he was the Terry Alexander from Day of the Dead in this movie.
It's like I'm trying to remember what anybody's I think his name was Panda.
I can't remember. One of the characters' name was Venus, and I only kind of figured that out towards the end.
Yeah, I did not know that her name was Venus. Meg Foster.
Yeah.
Her name was Venus. I did not know that until after she was dead. And somebody was like, it's like, where the fuck's Venus, man?
Yeah,
like,
I was the same way.
That would have had to have been her. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was other black guy, the driver, Roscoe.
Shit. Oh man, it's the spirit of Roscoe. He's coming to get us.
I hear you say Roscoe 3 times. Your phone falls over.
This is a stupid ghost. I got a phone case, asshole ghost. So like, they're kidnapped so fast in this movie and put into
such a weird fucking way.
Yeah, and it's so, because again, you're not really given any humanizing moment of these characters, and they're thrust so quickly into this situation that I didn't care. Like, it felt like if you were watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and a half hour, 20 minutes in, suddenly, bam, we're at the dinner table scene. Or like if you're watching The Running Man, and right after, like, the helicopter scene at the beginning, boom, he's on stage with Damon Killian.
All right, I get in your little speed race pod.
Fucking right. I'll be back, Killian. Only in a rerun. So they're kidnapped by Malcolm McDowell, who's just being Malcolm McDowell in this movie. Like,
well, all of the villains, whether it's Malcolm McDowell or the weird Nazi midget or sorry, Nazi dwarf.
Oh yeah, that was why I rolled my eyes. He has a name. God, that fucker was annoying. The Nazi,
or whatever else was. Well, I mean, I fear you've seen Tiptoes. You were about to correct me. Not a midget, he's a dwarf.
They're called.
I'm a dwarf too.
They're called miniatures.
So this toy Nazi, not a standard Nazi.
They're called toy Nazis. Thank you very much.
So there's real life Bratzi.
Oh god, this is a much better movie than Yoga Hosers. I'll say that right away. This is a way better film than Yoga Hosers.
It's just a bunch of that guy running around who may have had something.
Man,
but
I don't know. Like, the problem, like, Malcolm McDowell he puts him through this game in which they run around this steam, like a bunch of pipes. Like it's for the set from Bruno Mattei's Terminator 2. There's just a lot of pipes, a lot of steam. They're in a power plant.
They are in the movie Hell of the Living Dead.
Yeah, they're in like the climax to like The Incredible Melting Man.
They're in the climax to almost every action like sci-fi movie from the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
it's just one of those classic steam and sparks factories.
When you have a low budget and it has to be like the future. Like,
It's like,
just
I don't know, like, I know where there's an abandoned water treatment plant to let us film at
Yeah.
night.
So Malcolm, they have so many hours to survive in which Malcolm McDowell sends these like crazy clowns after him, but that sounds more interesting than it is because these people in clown makeup,
It has a very fucking circus vibe to it.
but they're all just talking the same.
They don't.
They're
It doesn't seem like, oh, it's like this giant circus that travels around and does this shit like
No.
like it's fucking like the traveling shit from like Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Oh yeah, totally. Or like that's what I was kind of hoping for with this movie, but it's not like
So,
they've got on
yeah,
like
I don't know why there was like this weird circus theme to everything.
me neither really. I mean like maybe I missed it.
They were attacking.
Oh, it's got a weird circus theme to it because Rob Zombie directed it.
True.
Because half of the people in the audience are wearing a Captain Spaulding T-shirt.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is,
Yeah, like it didn't fit at all. It was just a thing that was happening.
yeah, it would be like if they all act the same. They all speak this rednecky Rob Zombie dialogue. They're not really doing any creepy clown thing.
Yeah, it's intermittently almost a whisper and then fucking shouting.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And a lot of
that's
it just
not-
like saying the same thing over and over again, but getting louder until you're just screaming everything.
Yeah, and
Like
it's not
every
scary.
single one of them had that.
It's not scary. It's not creepy. It's just some rednecks spouting off like, you know, like you know when the best part is a pregnant woman getting a blowjob from the baby. Like,
Yeah, it's like when shit like that was going on, it's like, oh, so he's practicing his stand-up.
yeah.
It's like, what's the difference between an onion and a whore? Wait, brother, I got this one. I know. All right. You do it. I cry when I cut an onion.
It's worth noting that was a dream sequence too. That was a dream
Yeah.
sequence, and it wasn't suspenseful because those two characters had already died. They were fucking like decapitated and shit. So I know this is a fucking dream. And I'm just waiting, like, get through your fucking jokes, get through your fucking redneck shit.
Well, in each one of the killers or set of killers had a definite theme that they were working with, but none of the each one was in a totally different area of this place that looked wildly different from all the others.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them felt like this is an area designed specifically for whatever's going on. Like the weird little like Nazi guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like it looked like any abandoned building in like Detroit.
Yeah.
Like it didn't like it wasn't like decked out in like, you know, weird like propaganda signs and like Nazi regalia.
Well, there was that one room.
Well, yeah, there was like that one weird little room, but
that it just showed like one like kind of quick shot of, and that guy, man, it's like most of the villains in this. That guy was just annoying. He wasn't scary or creepy or anything like that. He was just
and
really
for some
obnoxious.
reason, like 90% of his dialogue was in Spanish.
Yeah.
So it just made it more confusing. But then, especially when like him and Sherry Moon Zombie are having like this screaming dialogue back and forth at each other in Spanish that we're just, all right, I can catch like every like fifth word, but like not enough to like I have the gist of what's happening, and I know that the dialogue isn't exactly the strong point of this movie, but I would at least like to know what is happening.
Yeah, because
Just as a courtesy.
you have this group of main characters that when they die, I don't
like,
care. I don't know anything about
when
these
they get
people.
when they get kidnapped. half of them are dead immediately.
Yeah. And so then I also have this
you're
set
introduced to all these characters, and then in the scene where they get jumped, half of them are killed.
just cause, like, yeah, some of them are killed, and then I also have these villains that, for the most part, aren't memorable or scary or really even different from one another. They're just going around doing typical cocksucker motherfucker type shit.
Although it's so weird because it's like there's some sort of bigger mythology behind all this, but none of that shows up in the movie.
No, we're just supposed to basically accept everything that's happened to us. Like, it's not like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where there's a lot of little events and then bigger events that ultimately lead to this climax in which they're having that dinner table scene together. They really just kind of throw you into this game that's happened.
It's like it's this, like, because the opening scene is I mean, it's paced really long, like it's right up there with again, yeah, like like all like the driving around parts at the beginning of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one. And then suddenly within the course of like a minute, they get attacked, half of them are dead,
and then Malcolm
the
McDowell,
other half of them are chained up in what looks like a cross between a high school stage play and the most like ornate Gothic cathedral you've ever seen. And then yeah, suddenly fucking like Malcolm McDowell walks out dressed like a fucking dandy fop. Like, he's up there like wearing this costume like he's the fucking Marquis de Sade.
Well, it's time to play our game, the game of 31. And then he
like, that's the name. That's like, we'll play the game 31. It's like everybody down there was like, it's like, no, now we got to do 31. It's like,
I don't know what you're even, and now,
and the name had like, again, like, we're assuming because it's on the 31st, but the name had nothing to do with it. Like, it's like, we're gonna play the game 31.
We didn't think this part through.
Now you have 12 hours. You just have to stay alive, and we're gonna send a very odd number and assortment of killers after you in time. And they don't even specify that. He basically is like, you just have to stay alive, and then here's this fucking Nazi dwarf. He'll come and kill you. Okay, get ready. And then hard cut, and then we're like all of them waking up. So I'm like, there is tons of missing reels to this movie.
Yeah, there really is.
Because just suddenly then they're in a place. Because
and Malcolm, they don't go beyond just. They like the idea they've cast Malcolm McDowell in this part, and they really don't do anything with it beyond that. Like, he's just there just to be Malcolm McDowell giving the rules of this game.
Which he doesn't really give any rules of it. Of just, don't die is literally the only rule. But then, like, at odd times, he'll just, like, oh yes, now we're going to go over the, like, the current standings. Like, number 1, you have a 50 to 1 odds of staying alive. Number 2, 5,000 to 1. It's like
who is this guy?
Who's determining these odds? Like, like, are you a bookie? Do you have a bookie working for you? Like, what is actually going on here? And then they're wagering with like these giant, like, coaster-sized doubloons with like skulls on them. It's like, like at a point, like, and this is way late into things. Like, him and those 2 other old ladies that are in on this thing, that I recognize them, I just fucking don't care what their names are. They're standing around in this very fancy room, only lit with red lights. It's like, fucking, like, naked servant girls everywhere wearing, like, just fucking, like, masquerade masks.
They're on loan from Eyes Wide Shut.
It's like they stumbled onto the set of The Libertine and like, fuck it, let's keep it.
Pretty much, yeah.
But like, they're standing around this giant table that is a glass-topped table with like a pentagram on it that's lit up in like neon red. And Malcolm McDowell's like, it's like, let's step things up a little bit. Placing wages now. Sets like a couple of those giant like doubloons on the thing.
Yeah.
It's like 5 million. I'm like, I guess that's $5 million in gold. I don't know, are those placeholders, or like, is that actually $5 million in gold? It's like, I feel like there's more going on here that we have no idea about, but neither does the movie. So it's like,
Yeah. The movie didn't go...
Get away from that. Get away from that.
The movie did not go past just like putting Malcolm McDowell in front of the camera and telling him to be Malcolm McDowell, but not giving him really much of a character or any backstory or any build up.
We have no idea. None of them have names. There's all these like naked servant girls walking around, but then they also have all these like really buff henchmen with machine guns, but they're wearing like black pants and striped shirts like they're fucking villains on like the old fucking Man show with Adam West. And they're, I guess they have their own private militia. I don't know. And then all of these different killers they have on tap. They mentioned several that they don't even show up in the movie.
Well, that's for if they make a sequel.
For when he makes a sequel.
Yeah.
But then they all have like sick head, sex head, death head,
The Rick Head.
the Rick head, and so there's this whole thing going on. But again, we don't get to know what any of that is.
Well, you mentioned a thing earlier about like I don't know what's going on, because that leads into how the action is shot in this film. Which fucking Jason Bourne was easier to fucking decipher than a lot of the fight sequences in this movie.
A lot of the fight scenes are showing two people squaring off intensely, and then quick random cuts to stuff, and then someone is dead.
Yeah.
And it does like a freeze frame, and like the screen like rolls.
Yeah, like a lot of times I couldn't tell who was getting stabbed. I couldn't tell where they were getting stabbed. I couldn't tell if somebody was
At that one
dead.
point, like I thought Roscoe was dead.
Yeah.
Because Sex Head kept stabbing him.
Yeah.
But then in the next scene, he was fine. Like, he actually looked like he was doing better than before she attacked him.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what happened with that.
Yeah, because the camera, I couldn't tell if like, because I know this movie had to be submitted a few times to get it lower than an NC-17.
But yeah, I couldn't tell if she was stabbing him or just slicing him or where. It was just, she kind of like, you'd see this motion, and then it'd show him like, ah! And you'd hear like this.
It did that with the villains too.
But
there were some times where they're getting bashed in the head, and it feels like they should be dead, but then they're not, because I couldn't tell where they were getting hit. I couldn't tell who was getting hit most of the time, and I didn't know if this was, if maybe like an NC-17 version of this is maybe easier to decipher what's going on, because I know this got edited down from NC-17. So
some of the parts of, a couple of those fights felt like, well, maybe they're doing like super huge zoom-ins to like hide stuff, like when you see like a movie that's been edited for TV.
Yeah.
And like they like edit like a sex scene or like a particularly violent scene, and you're just like, wow, that looks really like out of focus and close, like somebody leaned in on the zoom.
Yeah, that was
So just crop it up a little bit and then just stretch.
There's so many of the fight scenes in this movie. That's what it looks like. And Rob Zombie's not that bad of a director. Like, even when it's a movie of his that I don't like all that much, like Lords of Salem, it wasn't a poorly shot film. I think Devil's Rejects holds up. I think that's a great fucking movie. House of a Thousand Corpses, I wasn't a fan of that, and I'm not now either, really. But at least I could tell what was going on in it. So I'm like, what is with all the fucking Paul Greengrass, like, or not even that, really, because then I still know what's going on. This is more like fucking Olivier Megaton, or like what's his nuts who directed Die Hard 5.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just like let's get in super close and have somebody like, doing shit in the dark, and then he died. Yeah. And again, like, that's the easiest way you can tell when somebody dies, is because it'll do an actual freeze frame on them, and then just slowly like the screen will go up like it's fucking changing a slide.
And there are parts of this movie that are well shot. When Doomhead comes back into it in the last half hour, it's like, this guy really is the good luck charm of this movie, because every time his character is involved,
he's the MVP of the movie.
Yeah, he literally is. Like, because every time his character is in the story, it suddenly becomes rather suspenseful, well shot. I can tell what's going on, and I'm actually like scared for the people on screen, even though I don't really know much about them as a character, but this guy is so fucking evil and terrifying. The last minute of the movie is really good. Like that final kind of confrontation with him and Sherry Moon.
Yeah, just that showdown was a really well done scene. Mm-hmm. But and you know what's weird is, and it especially brings up like the idea of it being like, I think a lot more comparable to, in certain ways. Basically, like if you took like the cast setup and like first half setup of like the first Texas Chainsaw, and put it together with the second half of Chainsaw 2.
Yeah, with like the tone of the last 30 minutes of House of a Thousand Corpses. Like all that Dr. Satan shit.
Well, 'cause Doomhead, what he reminded me of the most, in addition to Heath Ledger as the Joker, was fucking Chop Top.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, that's what we're doing here.
But it worked.
Well,
like,
yeah.
It really did work. It's
like Rob Zombie, like you know Bill Moseley.
I'm glad it was this guy.
Well, yeah,
like,
I'm honestly surprised it wasn't Bill Moseley.
No, when he first walked in front of the camera, like for a few seconds, I was like,
when it first starts in his opening monologue, like he comes from way down this fucking hallway, and as he gets like close until he's like right up in the screen, but yeah, he's all out of focus, and I'm like, well, this is gonna be Bill Moseley, like skinny fucking string bean guy, like super tall, like that's where. Oh no, it's not.
It's a different guy. That's the twist. No, I'm glad it was this guy, because this guy, I mean, he looked a little familiar to me in the film, but I could never place him until I was in the bathroom and IMDb'd him.
But with the, I was about to say though too, like with the way he had his hair kind of like pushed back, like white ass face, with like blood all over his mouth and everything, like, fuck me, I cannot remember his name for the life of me. I know it's something goddamn stupid, but the main villain in the Subspecies movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It reminded me of that.
See that. I can totally see that.
Especially when he's walking around, like at first, whenever, I mean, when we first meet him, he's just wearing like pants and like got his shirt off. But then like when he actually like sets up to like do his thing properly, he comes out like I mean, he's fucking this bitch while he's watching. That's how I talk now. So he's fucking this bitch.
He's fucking this goddamn whore.
So he's fucking balls deep with his dick into this fucking whore's ass. Sorry, my dialogue is now also written by this movie.
This movie's a bad influence on us.
But you know, like he's while he's doing that, like he's watching, like, I don't know, like the re-release of Nosferatu that has like industrial music placed in it instead of the original arrangement. But then whenever he shows up, like, he's dressed like he's fucking like Count Orlok, like the long coat and like the ruffles and everything.
Yeah.
And
I want him to be a Batman villain so bad in a new one. Like, I really want this guy. I really want like the next DC movie to be like, oh, that other Joker, that was a fake Joker. Here's the real one. And then it's this guy, this switchblades.
Well, they are doing a thing in the Batman books where the Joker actually isn't one guy; he's 3 different Jokers.
I heard about that. Yeah, I did hear about that.
This could work with that idea. This could totally go with that.
They could. We were just kidding with Pimp Daddy Joker from Suicide Squad. here's this terrifying, what was his name? Doomhead?
Doomhead.
Here's terrifying Doomhead.
This giant back tattoo, like he's the fucking Red Dragon.
Yeah.
Well, the Tooth Fairy, whatever.
I knew what you meant.
You know, like he's fucking Manhunter.
He was in Hannibal Rising. That was another movie that was on his IMDb.
See, it all connects. It all comes back around.
I don't know who he played in that because I never saw Hannibal Rising.
You know.
It's one of those movies I forget that was a thing.
And I feel bad because like I still haven't gotten around to watching like the Mads Mikkelsen like Hannibal series.
Oh, that's fucking good.
But the Hannibal Lecter thing completely lost me when the scene of fucking Ray Liotta sitting there with his fucking brain out, this corn pone pussy. Like, no, I don't care anymore. Yep, corn pone pussy.
Yeah, you'll like Hannibal better, the TV series. It's better than that. I don't even hate the movie all that much. That Hannibal, it's a bit slow, but eventually stuff happens.
Fucking weird.
No, like the TV series is really good. Again, like never saw Rising. But God, what else even is there about this movie? I mean, like I think that like. Because there are a lot of characters in this in terms of the people we're supposed to be rooting for. Yeah. I think if they narrowed it down to just a few, if they narrowed it down to just like Meg Foster, Sherry Moon, and maybe the Jamaican guy, I guess. Like if you narrowed it down to like that few, like, I don't know, maybe we could have gotten to know these people a little bit better and maybe insert another 10 minutes of footage so it just doesn't feel like this whole first act is being rushed to shit. I mean, it was cool seeing Meg Foster kick some ass in the movie. Like,
yeah, she had a lot more going on in this than I would have figured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's like older Sarah Connor looking in this because she's got some. Yeah,
she's got some
muscle in her arms.
She's got some grizzled little pipes going on there.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, most of the kills in the movie are from her.
Yeah.
Like, she actually is responsible for a majority. It's a little stuffy. It's really loud. But no, she is responsible for a majority of the kills on their side of things.
Yeah, again, like, if it narrowed it down to just her, because I liked seeing her kick some ass, if it narrowed it down to just her, and maybe she's on a trip with Sherry Moon, or is her daughter, who could be her daughter in the movie, and just maybe one of the other guys, instead of just this, fuck you, man, get out of here, I'm fucking, the first taste is free, and then, like, pussy, and all that, like, that's not...
Yeah, those two
character development.
Those two is like weird mother-daughter pick up a hitchhiker, like, oh no, maybe it's a red herring, and then like, no, he's in on this too, like he's in the shit with you guys, like he's not like one of them. But there's like that distrust.
Yeah.
Like that I feel like could have a little bit more legs and like do a little something more with it, but as it is, like it follows like some pretty standard beats all told. And then there's odd scenes that are just ripped out of like other things wholesale. Like after the first black guy dies during the game,
yeah,
and then like they're treated to like that fancy dinner when they pull back the tablecloth and he's in like this glass coffin. I'm like, that's from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like that just felt fucking weird.
Yeah, and I was also thinking like, how long has it been since like he died and them eating
It's been like 5 fucking minutes, like I swear to God.
I was like, how did this feast of their friend get prepared and everything in this, what seems like a really small amount of time? I mean, would you, I could recommend it as a as a rental or a Netflix watch. Honestly, really based solely on the Doomhead guy, and it had a pretty good last act. It had a pretty good last act to it. You do have to sit through a lot of bullshit in this movie.
Yeah.
But there's things about it for me to say, like, well, okay, if you're watching it at home, maybe if it's on Netflix, sure, why not? What about you?
Yeah, it's one, like, I can't say, like, gotta piss so bad. Actually, fuck, can we put a timeout in here real quick?
Yeah.
I'm about to fucking... So after a seamless transition that no one noticed, now with a much lighter bladder.
You peed all over that cicada.
Teaches has to be so loud.
That son of a bitch.
Son bitch, motherfucking cocksucking,
Yeah, fuck.
pussy fucking.
Fuck. He was... Oh, that was another thing the bad guy in this movie was in. He was in Halloween 2. And I'm thinking, like, was he the ambulance driver who kept saying fuck? I might be wrong, but that's the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. You remember that part?
Possibly, yeah, vaguely.
There was that part where the ambulance crashed and the guy it went on for like 2 minutes with the guy, fuck, 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 fuck.
Like, man, that writing staff. Like, look, man, I know we're almost done with this, but we gotta go back through one more time. He says he wants 90 pages. We're at, like, 85. It's like,
Fuck, 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 fuck.
Insert shot, close up. Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck. Exterior. Fuck. 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 There. Turn it in. Done.
Done and done. Would you recommend this at all as like a Netflix watch or something?
Yeah, I'd say like it's definitely worth a watch.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's going to be a very definite subset of the audience that is going to absolutely love this movie and
If you've loved...
overly hype it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like I think you were starting to say, like, if you liked his other movies, like if you can get behind, like if you're willing to make excuses for like House of a Thousand Corpses, you're gonna fucking love this movie.
Yeah, if you've been...
If you're willing to overlook some of that, like some of the flaws in that,
and Lords of Salem...
you're gonna fucking love this movie.
Yeah, if you're still with it through Lords of Salem, you'll really like this movie. If you've loved every single one of his movies, and there's a lot of his movies. Like I said, I did really love Devil's Rejects. I don't hate his Halloween movies. They're severely flawed, but I don't have hatred for them.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, he honestly did enough different, and considering like the way that some of the prior, still in continuity to the original story ones started going, I'm okay with that. Because I mean, at that point, like,
I would rather watch his than H2O Resurrection.
Because yeah, I mean, well, fuck, even like, I know the other night I was something about like looking up like some different movies for my Halloween list.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them being like 90s like teen slashers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, looking at every list online of, like, no matter if it was, like, a Wikipedia article or different people's, like, review lists on, like, slash films or something, or IMDb, like, lists, all of them include Halloween H2O as a teen slasher.
Yeah.
Like,
Kevin Williamson wrote it.
It's not a good movie. And then Resurrection was just...
Yeah, like
something.
Rob Zombie's Halloween movies had their problems, they certainly did, but he was at least trying with it. They were at least ambitious, which is more than you can say about most horror remakes. He tried putting in some ideas into it. Some of it worked, some of it didn't work, and that is more than I can say about a lot of the other Halloween sequels.
But yeah, like there was effort and there was passion behind it, and I can at least give points for that. If even if you're not going to acknowledge anything else that happens in those, you can at least give him that. You know what? Fucking he at least really tried.
Yeah, he did. He did. So
I mean, you got to give points for that. But yeah, like I know that there's going to be a very definite section of people that are totally behind this. Like I said, I wouldn't doubt that at the next fucking horror con that comes anywhere, you're gonna see that guy. Like I could probably type in like Doomhead cosplay,
and it's already a thing,
and it's probably already a goddamn thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like when like here a couple weeks ago, whenever Letty and I first watched Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I told her, like, I guarantee you at the next like horror con or comic con or whatever kind of fucking con,
yeah. Oh yeah,
you're gonna see somebody going around dressed like 11.
Oh
I
yeah,
goddamn guarantee it.
Absolutely.
You're gonna see a lot of like it's gonna be like an ocean of different ideas of Harley Quinn, and then a couple girls walking around, you know, with like their head shaved, carrying a blonde wig, wearing like a fucking dress with like knee socks. Like, you're gonna see it.
I was just at Fan World, and believe me, there was a lot of Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, and Joker.
What?
Yeah,
that's
shocking.
Crazy.
Shocking, right?
It reminded me of like a couple years ago. I know like Sarah and Dave were telling me like, oh yeah, we had like this like, thing going on like to see like who could spot the most Harley Quinns at a convention. But like, I don't even think that that's a thing you can do anymore, because it's like at this point it's like spot how many girls you can find that aren't dressed like her.
I mean, you put together like convention bingo, and the center one was Harley Quinn.
That's just you got to give that as the free space.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
It was the free space.
I don't care what convention you're at. There's gonna be somebody.
Yeah, the free space could be. Your best bet is with Harley Quinn, but it could also be Deadpool too.
Yeah, anymore.
I wish I had known you had to go pee so bad. It's like
an audience.
No. I mean, like,
I'm just finishing.
try. Oh man, I gotta. Oh, dude, you gotta pee.
How about now?
Oh man, I just spilled it all over.
Yeah, me too. Spilled mine too.
Wet pants.
Joke's on my sister-in-law. This is her car. Like, I don't know, man. Like, your car just smells.
Your car smells like piss, man. The homeless guy sleeping there last night. Yeah, that's why I always try to remember to like hit the restroom like on the way out, because even if I don't have to go really bad, I'm like these videos can sometimes go between like 40 minutes and an hour. I'm gonna take a piss right now.
I thought it was good because I had to like piss like halfway through the movie. I'm like, nope, miscalculated.
All right, so tomorrow Sarah and I are, speaking of Stranger Things, Sarah and I are seeing Morgan tomorrow. And I think I'm gonna try to see The Sea of Trees tomorrow afternoon.
What the fuck is The Sea of Trees?
That's that movie. That's that Gus Van Sant movie about the suicide forest. It's Artsy the Forest. It's with.
I've already seen The Forest. I'm okay.
Did you watch The Forest? Thinking, boy, I wish this were from the director of Jerry.
That is exactly.
It's McConaughey is in it, and Ken Watanabe. It's getting like a one-time show. It's not even a Fathom thing. It's something that they're calling like AMC Extra. So it's showing at like 1:40 tomorrow afternoon.
The most convenient time to catch a movie.
1:40 in the afternoon on a Friday, on a weekday.
On a work day. On a school day.
I am going to be the only one there. I am absolutely going to be the only fucking one there.
No, there'll also be the two very annoyed employees who have to be here this early to open up so that you can be the one person watching it.
Speaking of, I was talking to some of the employees when I was killing some time before Dave showed up yesterday for Hell or High Water, and we were talking about the Fathom events, and I was like, oh yeah, me and my buddy, we were here for that Barbie thing a couple weeks ago, and the girl behind concessions going, that's who you are. She was like, I was the one working concessions. We saw you guys walk in. She's like, the entire time you guys were in there, we're out there going like, they're really just some fucking 30-year-old men just fucking walk in there to see Barbie. They were like,
fuck yeah.
She was like, she was saying like, her and the other employee, like, what is with those guys' deal? They said their theory was like, did they get drunk the night before and they're still really drunk and just decided to, at the last minute, go into the movie theater to sober up a little bit?
It's like, God, I am still so drunk.
Barbie, man. Barbie. We go see fucking Barbie, dude.
Fucking do it, man.
We sober up, man. So, yeah, she looked at me and said, like, I'm really glad that mystery is solved. No, we're just seeing it for the internet.
It would have been great if we were also drunk.
At 10 in the morning for that screening, yeah. It's still working through me, man. I'm gonna have to piss like every 10 minutes during this. Fuck.
That's when you just get an extra cup.
Oh, exactly. See ya.